So let me start this video off by saying no, this fro hawk is not permanent. I had it for a costume party that I went to a couple days ago and I just haven't gotten the chance to. Anyway, welcome to a brand new episode of We Sibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings. Today we are going to be talking about San Diego Comic-Con, more specifically Marvel Phase 4. Disney Marvel dropped a whole bunch of new content. I'm gonna give my thoughts on the things that they announced. So first up, with a launch date of May 1st, 2020, we've got Black Widow starring Scarlet Johansson. Now, we've known about this movie for a long time. I believe this will be the first MCU movie not centered around a hero with superpowers. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. I'm thinking of kind of like a Bourne type vibe to it, a lot of hand-to-hand combat, much like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, although obviously without the superpowers. But there are superpowered people in the movie. Taskmaster, who's a villain who can mimic any of the combat skills of his enemies. Overall, I think it'll be pretty good. It's a new kind of fresh direction for Marvel, so I guess we'll wait and see. Next up, with a release date sometime in fall 2020, we have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Man, I don't think I could have thought of a worse name if I tried. So this actually isn't a movie, it's gonna be a series that streams on the new Disney Plus streaming service. So the show is gonna see Bucky and Falcon return, well, Falcon/Captain America now, return in their own series. Baron Zemo is set to be the villain. It sounds like it'll be pretty good, but I think it actually serves more of a purpose of building up the next Captain America. I think the next time that we'll really see Falcon/Captain America is going to be in the new Avengers movie, not in his own movie anytime soon. So they really want to establish his character in this TV show before they bring him onto the big screen. Next up, back to the movie world. November 5th, we have The Eternals coming out. Now, this is going to star Angelina Jolie. The Eternals are a race of godlike beings that are kind of like an offshoot of humanity. So, like, out of humanity, you have the humans, the mutants, and the Eternals. Very little is known about the plot for this movie, so there's not much I can say. But I think this will really push Marvel to the next level, as all of these characters are going to be godlike in their abilities. So I think if it's done correctly, it should literally have the action sequences akin to an Avengers movie. And again, look for that November 5th in 2020. So moving into 2021, February 12th, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And honestly, I don't get it. It seems like with the new Disney streaming service, they would have the perfect platform to introduce new properties to the MCU and develop them, but it seems like they just want to take the risk and put Shang-Chi right in the movie theaters from the get-go, 2021. Now, I do have a bit of a bone to pick with this one because it's supposed to star the Mandarin, and as many of you probably know, he's the main antagonist for Iron Man. Spoiler warning for Avengers Endgame, Iron Man is dead. So it really stinks that we're never gonna see the real Mandarin and the real Iron Man go toe-to-toe in a movie. So I'm kind of scratching my head with this one, like, why now? So yes, it's possible that Iron Man from another dimension could come into the MCU, as the Mandarin is said to be from another dimension. So I don't see why that wouldn't happen. But obviously, if you're bringing in another Iron Man, they're always going to be compared to RDJ, So Shang-Chi, yeah, I feel like it could have been better for the Disney streaming service, but again, Marvel hasn't made any major missteps yet. Inhumans, I'm thinking of that. But Inhumans was supposed to be a movie that ended up being a show, so maybe that's why they're just going straight to the box office with this new property. And hey, Guardians of the Galaxy was relatively unknown as well before it hit the MCU, so we'll see. Now, slated for spring 2021, we have WandaVision. Again, I don't know where they're getting these names from.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyway, WandaVision follows Wanda and Vision, Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch. Now, I'm actually really excited for this. It's probably in my top 3 things that I'm most excited for out of Phase 4. Now, my reasoning for this is that Scarlet Witch is one of the most, if not arguably the most powerful character that we've seen in the MCU thus far. Her power levels in the comics have been just ridiculous at points, possibly matching Thor, Doctor Strange, besting Captain Marvel, etc. So a lot of fans were frustrated when they saw Avengers Endgame, and while Scarlet did have her one moment going toe-to-toe with Thanos and pretty much beat him until Thanos rained down his ship fire or whatever, Marvel has a chance here to really give us the full-blown Scarlet Witch that we've come to expect. And that actually is what they've alluded to as far as what we're gonna get in the final product. So super excited to see that. Obviously, Vision is a super powerful hero as well. So those two are just, I mean, again, like, What's the budget for this? I'm kidding, it's Marvel, they have no budget. Now, WandaVision will be a Disney Plus streaming series, so it won't be a movie. And that's okay, I get it. I'd rather have that than nothing at all. Now, kicking off the summer, Marvel is releasing Doctor Strange next and the Multiverse of Madness. This comes out in May of 2021. And this will apparently be Marvel's first attempt at a real horror movie in the MCU. Reports are saying that it will actually be a scary movie. Honestly, I don't understand why Marvel would be going in this direction, as all of their content is PG-13 and set for a general type audience. So there's only really so far that they could go with a story like this. However, I do think that Doctor Strange is the best suited for this type of movie, this kind of scary MCU vibe, as he does deal with, you know, mysticism, dark magic, all those different kinds of things. So I think they made a right choice in terms of the character. Now, also in spring of 2021, we are set to get the Loki series on the Disney streaming platform. And this is a show that's obviously garnered a lot of attention, as it will see Tom Hiddleston reprising his role as Loki, the god of mischief. Honestly, I've personally never been much of a fan, but I guess it'll be good. Now, it appears this will be taking place around the time of Avengers Endgame, as once again, spoilers for Avengers Endgame. There's a point where they're going after the Space Stone, and Loki actually gets it and vanishes. So the story is set to take place right after that moment. Now, remember guys, that this is still the evil Loki. He kind of turns on a good path, turns over a new leaf right before he, by Thanos. But this series will take place before that, so he will still be fully fledged evil Loki. So do I think that'll be good? Probably not, no. And I'm ready to be surprised and proved wrong, but I just don't see how intriguing the stories would be with Loki just being the evil protagonist. Now, later in the summer of 2021, we've got another first for the MCU, and that is a cartoon series called What If, and that will be on the Disney Plus streaming platform. Now, What If I think will be pretty good because it'll give the writers a chance to have some creative freedom, do some things that they couldn't do before because of story constraints and continuity. Maybe give us an idea of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe could have looked like if certain things had or hadn't happened. Another really interesting thing about this is that the original actors will be back to voice their characters, so I think that'll be super cool. Now, for fall of 2021, we've got the Disney Plus streaming service series. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Hawkeye. Do I really have to talk about this? All right, so Hawkeye, not one of my favorite characters, blah, 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 blah. He's getting his own show, blah, 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 blah. This is kind of going to be Barton's redemption story after Black Widow saved him from giving his life for the Soul Stone. So we'll take a deep dive into the Hawkeye backstory and characters, and nobody cares. I just don't get this one. I think the MCU has outgrown Hawkeye. He has no powers. Everybody is like God level now. Why is he still around? I mean, you have Black Widow, but even her movie is set in the past. We all know she's gone now, but this Hawkeye series is supposed to be continuing on. I just don't think the MCU has room to hang on to this one unsuperpowered character that we've had for almost a decade, especially as the Avengers are refreshing. And last but certainly not least, in fact, this is probably my most anticipated movie to come out. This will be Thor: Love and Thunder, weird subtitle. This will be coming out November 5th of 2021, and it's Thor 4, guys. Now, nobody really knew we wanted another Thor movie until Ragnarok came out, and we're like, oh my goodness, he's finally coming into his own. Now, what I don't like about this is apparently they're supposed to be bringing in Jane Foster to be Thor in this fourth Thor movie. I feel like Thor's just kind of coming into his own after Ragnarok, and I need at least 2 more Thor movies before we replace him. So I'm a little sad to see the potential of another Thor coming in, period. But there you have it. We don't know a ton about this movie. Tessa Thompson will obviously be back. Now, Natalie Portman will be reprising her role as Jane Foster, so that's interesting. There was apparently some beef between the studio and Portman. This was after like Thor 2, and then she wasn't even in Thor 3, and then we saw a little bit of her in Avengers Endgame, like a tiny bit, and now boom, she's gonna be Thor. So tell me how that works. Anyway, guys, that is the slate for the Marvel Phase 4 movies that they announced at San Diego Comic-Con just this past weekend. Please let me know in the comments what you are most excited for. I gotta say it's probably Thor, then WandaVision, then the Eternals. in that order. So I want to hear your thoughts. Guys, make sure you like this video if you like this video. Also subscribe and click that bell so you can find out when I blinked a lot. So you can find out when we're releasing our next video. Like I said, we're going to be dissecting all this Marvel content over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you stay tuned for more information on that. If you want to see some more great content, be sure to check out the La Quente Ledger. That's my other channel that I do with my friends. You can find some more amazing content on that as well. I'll leave links and all that good stuff down in the description. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.